Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about input field, but it's going to be an advanced session. We'll talk about the context in which input field lives in. We will set up a key. We'll talk about the metadata of input field, the input methods, and the lock mechanism. Let me switch to a system and let us create a simple insight in order to display the new things about input field. We'll go with ME2N, we will pick a selection variant, and we will pick a display variant. There you go. So there are three things belong to the user input that could not be done without setting up the key in advance. So manual coloring. If I will select a few records, a few cells, and I will try to color them, the system will yield this message. The same applies to comment, and we'll get the same message if we will try to create a new input field of any type. And the reason is because in those three user input categories, we need to save your data. Okay, unlike any other else, all the instructions, but we save the instructions rather than the data. In user input, we have to save the data. Okay, and SAP, unlike Excel, in the next day, this record may be the second one, the third one, or even omitted altogether, and therefore we cannot use the mechanism by which Excel saves information. So we need you to tell Insight what makes each record unique, and this is where we are going to save the data and relate it to that record later on. So next time you get in, we will be able to attach the user input back to the proper place. So let's set up the key. A key is a field or a few fields that together set up something that makes this record unique. Since it's a PO item report, the PO and PO item is a unique key. The system will check the uniqueness of the key, and the following message states that everything is correct. So now let's create a few input fields of some types. The first one is going to be, let me pick data elements. The first one is going to be a checkbox. Okay, we will call it approved by responsible. Okay, the next one is going to be the responsible, which is somebody of type user. We'll pick it from the business partner menu, user. And the third one is going to be a date. And lastly, let's call it new delivery date. And lastly, I'm going to use the number of the weekday. So Monday is the first day of the week. Tuesday is the second, and so not in the basic, in the, how can I find this one? Date, day of week. So let's see what we have. So checkbox, user. So everything is here, right? The SDEV for search help. If I will try to use something that is not a user, the system will validate it and prevent me from using such a thing. Date. This is how the date field looks like. And weekday looks like that. Okay. So we talked about how to set up those fields. Check these alternatives, these options that will make it easier for you to work with things is if you set this one, it should be a limited list, then the list box will make it UX wise easier to use. Okay, so now you can see it looks like a combo box rather than the F4 regular thing. Okay, next thing is the fast input. We can use the fast input to quickly set up the content of several records. So I'm selecting a few cells. I will press the fast input. I will use my username, and apparently I missed the selection, and there you go. It will work even if you select a few cells together. So I'm setting up the checkbox, the username, and the new delivery date together. And as you can see, let me pick it. So everything works in this one as well, but this makes it much easier. The last option around fast entry is using the formula. So let me select a few records, and I will use the formula value. And now I can initialize those fields with the value okay, I'm missing it. So 10 days from today. Okay. That's it in terms of input methods. Let's switch to info records. So information about the input. So who last changed a record? This could be done using the input info. Right click the mouse, columns, create reference column, and input info. Okay, now the system asks us about the heading of this field. The default should be Safish, okay, new delivery date info, but you can overrule it. Who last changed the date. Okay, I will use it in the explanation. Date last change. This one is talking about the granularity of the information, so you can specify who was the person, the username of the one that changed the information, the date on which it was changed, the date and time, or all of them together. And this is how it looks like. So Ishan changed those on today, and this is the time. By the way, if I will try to get out, the system will warn me that I'm going to lose all my input data. So by saving it, the information is now saved to the database. Okay, and if I will change this date yet again, you'll be able to see that the input info was changed accordingly, but it saves only one record, the last change occurrence. If you'd like to save all the changes, one can turn on the change documents mechanism. So if I will press this button in the columns, I can turn off the change document checkbox. So as of now, all changes will be recorded. So let me place one date, 4th of July. I will save my work. Then I will pick another date, the 12th, and I will save my work. In order to look to see the change documents, go to input change documents, and there you go. The system will tell us what were the changes and who performed them. Okay, so we started with E, insert, and then update. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is the lock mechanism. So there are two scenarios in the lock mechanism. The first one is if I'm saving, if I'm working on something and somebody else is working with me. And the second one is what happens when I already saved my content. So give me a second and I will open this very same Insight creation again. So there you go. I'm working in two sessions. So let me take the first one and I'm going to change the value. Okay, I didn't save my work, so it is in progress. And if I in a different, but it's going to be another username, will try to do something, then the system will issue a message that new delivery is locked by another user. So only the specific cell that undergoes change is being locked. Okay, and the information is somebody else is changing it. All other cells are available. And again, I'm changing it, but I'm not saving it. If I'll go back and I will try to do this thing, the system will invoke the same message. Somebody else is changing it. Now let's go back, and now we are going to change our work. So I change it, and now the system will behave differently, because now the system knows that somebody else already made the change. So the system informed me about the change and asked me if I'd like to adopt the change made by somebody else. Now I'm getting the information that was changed by another person. That's for today. Have a great day. Bye bye.